Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer 1141-4 in a 606 finish. This is a U-shaped or U mounting bracket. This is lavatory hardware from Bommer, is what this is. This is a large, heavy piece of cast brass, weighs about 0.8 pound, at least it does with its fasteners. And we're going to talk more about this. So, solid brass, it's cast. It is a 606 finish. That means three things. It's made of solid brass, number one. Number two, it's a satin brass finish. Okay. Number three, it has a clear lacquer applied to it. Okay, so that's what 606 means. Dimensionally, let's go over that now. And there is a document below this video called Template that will show you the dimensional properties. We'll look at that in a moment, but just to touch on the basic dimensions. Overall width, about 3 1/4, or projection. Overall height, about 1 7/16 inches maybe. Then we're going to have an overall width at the base of about 1 1/4 inches. Out here, it tapers ever so slightly, maybe to about 1 1/16 inches. So maybe not ever so slightly. It definitely tapers because it's thicker on the backside is the bottom line, is what I'm driving at. Fasteners are included. So you're in the description of the item, I believe they say AJs. AJs. And AJ is a term that I've only heard used by old timers. I don't know how valid of a statement that is, but an AJ, when I've heard that term used, it's meant to be a... But when someone refers to that as an AJ, we're talking about a masonry anchor, and in this case, it's a lead expansion anchor. And this is going to include a Phillips drive screw, and I can see that the screw has a little bit of spare metal stuck inside of there, so we're going to have to work that loose. But it's a machine screw is what it is. And generally with a lead anchor like this, you would use a setting tool. So you would drill a hole. And this is probably 1/4-20. The hole you would drill, well, it's measuring 0.497 on the outside. 0.497. Okay. Overall length, 0.852 overall length. So I might drill a 1/2 inch hole, and you're going to want to set that down. A setting tool is basically nothing other than a cylindrical piece of metal that's maybe, whatever, say 4 inches long, has a small tip that will reside within this space and is of the same diameter of this, and you can just then set that down. However you push that into the hole, of course, is really what needs to be accomplished on that. So that's what the bolt is, or the anchor is, for this U-shaped item that's back here. Now, the other fasteners, there will be a total of 2 sets of fasteners for the 2 holes. Okay, and you're going to get 2 sets of what I'm about to show you. This small piece of threaded rod, which, who knows what size that is. 1024 would be a guess. I would guess that to be 1024. Yeah, and we'll thread right in. Okay, then on the other side, and these are slotted one-way screws. Some people look at those and say, oh, those aren't security resistant. They are. I've tried to remove those screws. They do not come out. Not willingly. That's for sure. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. You'll have 2 sets of these through bolts. Some dimensional properties of the material, since we're looking at it. Length of the threaded rod, 0.753, and the diameter, 0.182. The female portion, that body diameter is 0.248, and the outside diameter of the head is 0.438 there. Now, they say that this is for 3/4 inch partitions only. The ID down at the base, 0.801 or 0.8 down at the base. Up at the top here, it's actually a little bit wider, 0.832, 0.832. So now you know what size that is. And again, for 3/4 partitions. And, you know, wouldn't fit anything that's 3/16, but comfortably 3/4 inch is going to reside inside of this space. Let's switch to the screen view and take a closer look at the supporting documentation. Okay, so here is the item that we are discussing, the 1141-4-626 U-mounting bracket, satin brass. So here's extended description information, 3/4 partition only. That's because it's a casting. They don't have castings for other sizes. Cast brass, the dimensions we've gone through, comes with 4 through bolts. This actually comes with 2 through bolts. I guess 2 through bolt sets, I suppose. And the AJs that we discussed earlier. There are 3 links below this video, and the first one is to the cut sheet that shows all of those dimensional properties that we touched on. In addition to those, the location of the holes for the fasteners. There's also a link below this video to the cut sheet, the product brochure. Sorry, first the cut sheet, and that's just the single page out of the product brochure that talks specifically about the 1141-4. Double flange, single flange, U-shaped in an L style. Description of that material is here. Not much to say about it, just a piece of solid brass. In terms of the finish, Bommer can do these in almost any finish that you can do on a brass-based material. Your brasses, your bronzes, your chromes, satin, polished, oil rubbed. So they have a, you know, they have a very full capacity of doing finishing on this solid brass material. Now the product brochure is, I'm just going to scroll to it. It's 4 pages, and it will show all of the lavatory hardware. Rim bolts, different styles and shapes, occupancy indicators, okay, that you can connect to these rim bolts. Okay, handle, door stop and hook, strikes and keepers for the rim bolts, the brackets we had talked about earlier. This would be a cover for the bottom of your partition. Hinges, very common, obviously, for partition work that you would have hinges. This client has ordered the rim bolt, the strike and keeper, pull handles, hinges, the U-bracket, and the double flange bracket as well as some coat and hat hooks. So the client is clearly doing an installation of lavatory hardware, and I can tell that they have 4 lavatories because they've ordered 8 hinges, 4 rim bolts, 4 pull handles, 4, you know, hooks, hook and stops, etc. So very nice. Now, also, below this video here is a link to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Bommer products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I would very much encourage you to review that full product catalog because it will definitely give you a deep appreciation for the broad range of items that Bommer manufactures. They have the separate plating plant and then the manufacturing plant. They're separated by maybe 10 or 15 miles. I forget. It's not very far. So they're able to keep all of that process under control, both the raw material manufacturing and then the plating and finishing process. If you know the name Bommer at all, you might for their double-acting spring hinges, which is the classic 3029 series double-acting spring hinge. Everyone has seen this hinge at some point. In fact, it was Bommer who literally invented the product line in about 1876 is when Bomber got started. Ownership of Bomber today is the husband of the granddaughter of one of the two brothers who founded the company. Everything spring related. You will find Bomber catalogs going back. I have one that's quite old. It might be from the 1920s, but you'll find Bomber products in other manufacturers' catalogs as well. And I think Bomber must have leased or manufactured or private labeled double-acting spring hardware for them. Another very common unit is the horizontal type spring pivot. If you have a residential application between the dining room and the kitchen, very common to see this. This hardware is at least a century old, at least. Okay, great scroll through here. There's no doubt about that at all. Okay, super. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Now, where are you going to see hardware like this? Because it's not inexpensive, there's no doubt. Where this material is going, I don't know. I see the business type. It's a dental office in Alaska, in fact. So a high-end dental office where I see this material is indeed installed in those high-end applications. You go into a five-star hotel, you're going to possibly see Bomber lavatory hardware. The law library at Michigan University, full of Bomber lavatory hardware. So, you know, applications where the standard, you know, zinc base material, chrome-plated zinc base material partition hardware is not going to fly. And stainless steel is not, a commercial-looking stainless is not the idea that you would get from some manufacturers of toilet partitions. You're looking to have customized material, brass-based material with a ability to have architectural finishes. You're going to go to Bomber for that material. Fairly comprehensive. There are times when we sell these just a piece at a time, or it's the opposite where there's a bushel load of it. That double tall box is full of brackets and whatnot for this client's application. Any questions on the Bomber? This is their part number 1141-4 U-shaped style partition bracket, or any other Bomber product. Please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.